everyone starts trading for one reason, and that reason is to quit their job and have more freedom. But with people I work with closely, they always ask me like, when is the best time to quit? And the answer to that is you don't know. Everyone's got a different situation, different expenses, a different living situation. So for the people I work with closely, I made this calculator that basically can tell them when is a good time to do it, if their returns are outdoing their like current expenses, and how much runway you'll have until you actually do run out of money if you have savings. So I've created this. It's completely free. You don't need to like opt in or put an email address in or anything. You can literally just use it. There is a thing here that's completely closed, so it's not like trying to force you to join anything. It's literally just to help if it does. So start on this little left hand column here. So you start with your current funded capital. So some people it might be zero, some people it might be 200k, but I'll just make some numbers up for the sake of the video. So say that's 100k, and then you have your average monthly return. So for monthly return, you will need to basically, in the most simplest terms, say you had 10% 3 months and 5% 3 months, your average would be 7.5. You basically just need to get your last 6 months and add them all together, divide by 6. But if you can't work it out, put it into ChatGPT, it will give you the answer anyway. So it's pretty straightforward. And then your profit split, because obviously the money you make, there will be some form of split. Usually it's 80%. Obviously with futures, you can only withdraw 50% of your profits. So just bear that in mind, because obviously it's all well and good making the money, but at the end of the day, you need to know the money that you actually get if you're going to use it to fund your whole lifestyle. So you don't want to quit and then have no money basically. And then here you have, that would be your current monthly trading income, obviously worked out. If you toggle these around, it will do it. And yeah, just let you know the results. Here you have consistency levels. So this is more for if your results are inconsistent, you want to allow a sort of buffer basically in terms of some months might not be as good as others. Obviously, if you're consistently returning the same amount, then put 100%. If you're really inconsistent and it's quite volatile, then put 50%. But obviously 70% is fairly like in the middle, realistic. So then you have your realistic monthly income. And then here you have your current situation. So how much savings you have. So obviously just, that could be within like your savings accounts or like stocks, shares, anything that you can actually withdraw and use quickly. Obviously something like property, you can't just sell. There's a whole process. But with something that you can, like crypto, you can just on the day exchange it and get the money for it. So just work out whatever that is. So say you've got 20k in savings. Say your monthly expenses are 4,000 just for round numbers, including like your rent. That would be like fixed stuff, obviously. But you know better what you want to do. If you want to allow for like food and going out and stuff like that, then obviously allow for it. But it depends what you want to do. If you want to just quit your job and have like the bare minimum that you need, then obviously just do that. Also, what you've got to take into account when you do this is the whole point of going full time is to then put more time into your trading and hopefully increase your funding, increase your returns and get better over time. It's not to just lounge about and the whole point is to then go further with your trading career, not just to sit where you are. So you'd like to think that with more time you will make better returns, but obviously nothing's guaranteed with trading. And then once that is all put in, you'll then get a score here. So when you're basically with this, it will basically tell you that you're never going to run out of money because the money you're making is more than your outgoings. But just say, for example, you did this, and then you realise that with your current monthly income and then just allowing for 70% of it, then you're not sustainable. But it still shows you here that you will have 31 months until you run out of money. So that's what, like I was saying before, you need to allow for the fact that you are going to hopefully start making more money once you can go full time into trading. So it's one of the things you need to know when you want to jump. Obviously 31 months of putting all these extra hours into trading, you would like to think you're going to make some more money, but nothing's guaranteed. And then here is your distance to freedom. So it will tell you how much more funding you need. And so here you can put into, say, your average account, you're taking challenges of 100k, 50k, 100k, just type in whatever it is. And then how long it takes you on average to pass one. So obviously if it takes 2 months, do 0.5. And if 4 months, 0.25. You can work out the maths. I don't know why that's at 3 months, but yeah. But yeah, you basically just play around with it, and you can see how long it's going to take you to reach the funding you need in order to match your expenses. And then yeah, basically it just gives you all of these like worst month scenarios and stuff, and how much funding will give you these sort of returns based on your current like average monthly return. So it's more made as a guide. Obviously, none of in trading you're not guaranteed anything. Anything could happen day to day, but it gives you a good guide and actually gives you numbers into jumping into being full time rather than just quitting your job, thinking everything's going to be fine, and then coming stuck at the end of it basically. So yeah, obviously just use it as a guide, and it's good to sort of see your numbers, because obviously if you're not ready and you can see how much funding you need, and just more like this bit with the funding scenarios, you can see if say you are returning 5% a month, which is fairly realistic for a lot of people. If you can get 400k in funding, you're going to return 16 grand a month, which 400k is not that hard to get considering you've got a lot of big firms and stuff. And 5% is realistic as well over a whole month. So it sort of opens your eyes to the fact that if you take it a bit more seriously, making that sort of money is fairly achievable, isn't it? They're not ridiculous numbers. And it can be fairly soon when you sort of take into account, yeah, how long it will going to take you. So within 6 months, you could have, yeah, like at 200k, or like that's very conservative. It's not going to take you 4 or 5 months to get pass the challenge realistically, unless you can only buy one at a time, and yeah, you don't really have the money to keep investing. But that's not really how you should play it. So if that is the case, I would then advise to lower your amount of the challenge you're buying. So instead of doing like 100k, buy 250ks and do it like that, because anything can happen in them challenges. You can lose one, and especially if you're going to drawdown, it takes forever to get out of. And ideally, you don't want to be in the evaluation stage for a long time because you're not making any money. So yeah, hopefully that will make sense. If there's any questions at all, just either write in a comment or DM me on Instagram or whatever, and I will get back to you.